Sports. We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Doubleheader action continues here at Angels Stadium. The Angels taking game one of this day-night doubleheader by a landslide, 11-1. They've won 4 consecutive games, and tonight we wrap up this 4-game series against the visiting Boston Red Sox. We welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and I just mentioned the 11-1 throttling of the Red Sox. The Angels have taken the first 3 of this series, and in game one, we saw the long ball prevalent, 3 big flies.
Yeah, Victor, some really good swings. Take a look at our AT&T U-verse rewind. We're going to see these big flies in game one. Cole Calhoun continues to swing the bat well against Boston. It's his 3rd home run in 2 games against the Red Sox. At the big fly to right center. And Albert Pujols, home run number 27, way out over the 390 sign in left center field. And then the finisher all off, David Freese, dead center field, 451-foot shot, 3-run home run for David Freese. And then Hector Santiago, season high, ties career high, I should say 10 punch outs. Had the fastball work, his changeup good, threw a lot of pitches, but they were good quality pitches for Hector.
Yeah, command a little bit of an issue, lasting just 5 innings plus 1 batters. Picked up win number 7, and tonight's pitching matchup has Andrew Heaney going in the finale.
Yeah, Victor, he's been throwing the ball so well. That 2-seam fastball, that arm action he's been able to get on the outside part of the plate, he's been very good. ERA 1.32. Stephen Wright threw a very good game against the Angels at Fenway Park. The knuckleball, get that knuckleball out in front, elevate it, and see if we can get that home run swings going once again in game 2 of this 2-game set.
Houston Astros idle, so the Angels have already picked up a half game, looking to pick up yet another. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is getting his warm-up pitches on as we welcome you back out to the Big A for the fourth and final game between these two teams. Check out John Farrell's starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox at 42-50 now with the 3 losses to the Angels, and a very similar lineup that he's run out through the first 3 games. It's Betts, Pedroia, and Bogaerts in the top third of the order. Ortiz, Ramirez, Sandoval in the middle third. Victorino jumps up to the 7th spot. Napoli drops to the 8th spot. And Blake Swihart, fresh off the disabled list, gets the starting nod behind the plate. He will bat 9th as they take on the 24-year-old left-hander, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma native. His name is Andrew Heaney.
Andrew Heaney has thrown the ball exceptionally well. 3-0 mark. We talked about that ERA, but 23 strikeouts, only 4 walks so far this season for Andrew Heaney. But my go-to is the fly ball to strikeout ratio, fly ball to ground ball ratio, I'd say. 33 ground ball outs, 22 fly ball outs. Good ratio. He's a guy, when he's on his game, will get a lot of ground ball outs.
Couple of changes defensively for the Angels in game 2. Matt Joyce in left, Daniel Robertson in center, Mike Travel service at DH, Cole Calhoun in right. In the infield, it's Featherston over at third base, Ibar, Giavotella, and Pujols around from third to first, and Perez behind the dish.
And Featherston getting the start at third base. He's turned 3 double plays, no errors. His 5th start at that third base position will be active with Heaney on the mound.
First pitch is being delivered by the UPS stores. Mookie Betts is ready to lead things off here. Game number 92 for the Angels. The Halos with a 1.5 lead over the Astros at 51-40. And here at home, 10 games over 500. First one tonight, popped up. Giavotella drifting out is underneath it. And there's the first out of the ball game.
Well, you like to see that too, seeing Boston, which generally not known to be overly aggressive on the first pitch. First pitch, pop up, out for Andrew Heaney.
Angels have kept Mookie Betts off the bases. Went 0 for 5 in game 1. He's yet to get a hit or even reach base in this series. Same goes for Pedroia. I'll take that back and drew a walk in the first inning of game 1. First time he had reached. 296, 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, 14 doubles on the season. Pulls this one to short. 2 down.
Great location, that fastball from Heaney.
Shortstop, number 2, Xander.
5th major league start for the Angels this year for Heaney. Had some time in the big leagues with the Marlins last year. His last start allowed no runs on 5 hits, worked 7 innings against Seattle, and that was on July the 12th. Most pitches he has thrown in any one start this year, 95, and that was in his 2nd start against the Yankees right here. He's in for a strike. Xander Bogaerts, a shortstop, hitting .306, 3 home runs, 43 runs batted in, a couple of hits in the first game. 2 singles. Boston had a total of 9 hits. Halos had 11. 0-2.
2 good fastballs at the lower part of the strike zone. Real good balance, good tempo early on for Heaney.
Now the 0-2. Check swing. They wanted appeal. He did not go.
That's a good pitch, though, from Andrew Heaney. His first good slider down and in after 2 fastballs in that same plane. See if he went. I did a good job of holding up on the swing. That's not easy to do, especially that sharp slider that he threw.
And that is a base hit to left. On a 1-2 pitch, Bogaerts picks up a 2-out single. Bring up David Ortiz.
Designated hitter, number 34, David Ortiz.
David Ortiz, the DH, 233 on the year. 1 for 4 game. Single and a run scored in the 4th inning, game 1. Angels pitchers combined for 14 strikeouts in game 1. Santiago had 10 of them.
That tied a season high as far as the staff.
Morin pitched 2 scoreless innings of relief. Cesar Ramos closed it out. The only blemish for him, a 2-out walk in the 9th, but that is it. He threw the ball well as well. There's Hector, his 7th win. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Ortiz.
Does Hector ever slow down?
No. I guarantee he's got a tee time at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Exactly.
He's talking about the dog leg right he's going to have to face at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And he's driven out toward right center field. Cole racing over is there, makes the catch, position for the 3rd out. We'll head to the bottom of the 1st. Yavitella, Calhoun, and Trout coming up for the Halos with no score. .92 on the year. Johnny Givatelli leading things off at second. Cole in right field. Mike Trout the DH. Albert Pujols at DH in game 1. He's over at first base tonight in game 2. Eric Eibard short. Matt Joyce in left. Daniel Robertson in center. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Taylor Featherston gets the start at third base. They are taking on the 30-year-old right-hander, Southern California native by the name of Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright still throwing the ball very well this year for the Red Sox. Fastball, don't throw many of them, 82, 87. Knuckleball, a very good knuckleball, and a very occasional curveball. But my goes to get that knuckleball out in front and don't help him out. Don't chase that knuckleball out of the strike zone. Get in an occasional fastball count. And a lot of fans here.
Yeah, no doubt. Grew up in the Moreno Valley, went to Valley View High School, and then the University of Hawaii.
Started off first pitch fastball.
Second start against the Angels. Back in May at Fenway Park. Picked up the win, went 6 in the 3rd, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. Bouncer foul. That's 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnny in game 1 ended up going 1 for 4, but his 1 hit was a 2 RBI single. It's part of the 7-run 2nd inning. 263 average. 3 home runs, now 35 runs batted in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swihart behind the plate, off the disabled list. Draws the starting nod against the knuckleball. That's down low, 3-1.
So far, looks pretty comfortable catching that knuckleball. It's not easy to do as a catcher.
That modified catcher's mitt, almost like a first baseman's glove. Strike, full count. Right, like R.A. Dickey throws a firmer knuckleball.
And he can change speeds with the knuckleball also. It's a little bit hard. That's when he wants to go throw, when he wants to get a strikeout.
There's the payoff. And Johnny hits one out toward right center. It's playable for Betts. 1 out.
They key for this team today. The Hood go crazy. The entire team, both the offensive side, the gloves, and the pitching staff. Going to put it all together He'll pull off this doubleheader sweep. I know you like that song.
Absolutely. Got that one on shuffle, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Calhoun with 13 home runs now, 52 runs batted in. Went for 2 game with that home run and a walk. Also scored twice. Two balls and no strikes. After a tough month of June, Cole has picked it up here in the month of July. 27 average. 6 home runs now. He drives this one out toward left center field. Betts racing over, dives. Did he get it? He did. What a play by Mookie Betts on a sinking line drive. That is the second out here in the first.
Especially goes off a left-handed bat. It's going to run away from him. That quick first step by Betts. He's made so many highlight plays already this season. That's certainly one of them right there. See when he's playing on the pole, and the dive at the last second just gets it before it hits the outfield grass. And if that gets by him, that's at least a triple for Cole. But what a play by Mookie. Diving just before it hits the outfield grass. And right. And that's how it's done.
Trout looks at a strike. Betts likes to play shallow center field, or shallower center field. I was shading Cole to pull a little bit. Nice play. 0-2. Trout picked up 1 single in the first game.
That was 63-mile-an-hour pitch. That was a slower one.
Going Doug Jones off. Slow, slower, slowest.
This might be the time I'll try to throw a little harder knuckleball.
And he got it. A 1-2-3 inning for Stephen Wright. 1 complete. We are scoreless. Been pretty hot, Gooby.
Especially the starting staff since June 24th. That's covered 19 games. Record 11-4, ERA 1.91, which is best in that period of time in Major League Baseball. 16 times they've had 2 earned runs or less during that stretch. Very good pitching staff. Reason why this club is in first place right now.
Ramirez, Sandoval, and Victorino here in the second for Boston. Hanley hitting .265, 19 home runs, 46 RBIs. Went 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs in the first game. something off on that one. Good pitch, good location.
Good changeup. Because he's refined his mechanics and delivery, that changeup become a lot more effective, especially because he could throw that two-seam fastball in that same plane.
That is line to left field. Joyce comes in and makes a catch around the ankles. That ball was squared up. One down.
The last two baseballs hit by Red Sox hitters have been hit right on the nose, but nothing to show for it. Very difficult play for Matt Joyce coming in on the baseball. He catches this baseball just before it gets to that outfield grass himself. Squared up well by Ramirez. But F7.
Pablo Sandoval shoots one down the line, foul.
You notice they're out way more aggressive in this game. They don't want to fall behind. They did that a number of times against Hector. They had to deal with all-speed pitches, and when they looked all-speed, they got fastballs in.
One ball, one strike. Mania, a first-round pick, 9th overall selection in 2012 by the Marlins out of Oklahoma State. Trade to the Dodgers in the big deal in the offseason. They got flipped to the Angels for Howie Kendrick. The Dodgers, he's grounded toward first. Albert will take it himself. 2 outs.
Now it's time for Tools and Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. We talk about Mookie Betts playing a shallow center field. Same thing with Mike Trout. It's allowed him to go back and make some outstanding plays, going back on the baseball, keeping his eye on the ball and up against the wall. It's also taken away some hits in front, but his ability to go back on the baseball fit into what Dino Evil wanted him to do, play shallow and then go back, and he's made some outstanding plays. DH tonight for Trout, but that's all about taking away that single in front and also still able to make that spectacular play going back on the ball.
Victorino lays off the high fastball. It's 2-0. Right fielder, 256. Home run and 4 runs batted. And a couple of stints on the DL this year. A 2-hit game in game 1 with singles. As he didn't mean to offer it that one. Just fouled it off. 2-1. Can't leave it up. You're right, this is about as aggressive as we've seen the Red Sox through the first 3 games of the series. Two fouled off to the right.
You know, their approach has not worked so well. First 3 games, what, 1 run scored in 27 innings.
Something's had to give for them because they've struggled against left-handed pitching this year. They've struggled out on the road. Lines this one to short, and Ibar almost had that ball go over his head. A little flat-footed there, but it's a 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the second with no score.
right-handers matching up in Kansas City. Kershaw and Greinke out on the mound for the Dodgers tonight. Can they pitch well enough to win in Atlanta?
Albert Pujols will lead things off here. He'll be followed by Eric Ibar. And Matt Joyce is so looking forward to that update, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
11 games on the slate. Major League Baseball today. Astros are idle, as are the Oakland Athletics. First one, Albert. Upstairs. Albert now with 547 career home runs. His next one will tie him. Mike Schmidt, 15th all time. Good swing right there.
He looked like he was trying to tie Michael Jack Schmidt on that swing.
He was trying to time it perfectly with
Yeah,
the
you
delivery
were.
of the pitch.
Nice. All you working.
Should I reset and do it again?
Yes.
Albert 27 home runs, 57 RBIs now. 2-hit game in game 1. Top of foul. It's 1-2. It's been a beautiful day for baseball. Hot one this afternoon. 2 o'clock start. Ball certainly was carrying today. Foul back. Beautiful night. Very few clouds. Just down the distance a little bit. That's about it. Little breeze blowing.
It's not quite as humid as it was earlier today.
Looks nothing like last night.
No.
The historic rainout.
Is there a rainout?
Allegedly. That is foul back. Right with a 1-2-3 first. Couple of fly balls to center. Terrific play by Betts as well. And a strikeout of Trout. Two on the way. It's off the plate.
Right coming into this game, he's allowed 7 home runs and 43 in the 3rd innings pitch. Anytime with a knuckleball pitcher, you're going to get a lot of fly ball outs, and when a mistake is made with that knuckleball, it's a good chance it gets out of the yard.
Reaching for that one, just got a piece of it. The count remains full. Stephen Wright, the SoCal product from Moreno Valley. Good friends and family here. First professional game in this ballpark. He once pitched in a tournament in high school here over a decade ago.
Certainly has to be a thrill for him here tonight.
Another payoff. Knuckleball, that is rifled foul. It's a 12th game, 5th start for Wright with the Red Sox this year. Just about 3 months last year due to sports hernia surgery. Yet another payoff pitch. And that is lifted in the air toward the corner. Moving back on it is Hanley Ramirez. This one is gone! Big fly for Albert Pujols. Move over, Mike Schmidt. Number 548. The Angels have a 1-0 lead.
Well, Albert's starting to get locked in, and he had a great first game. Hit every ball right on the nose, including a home run. After a long at bat against Wright, hits this one out, tying Michael Jack Schmidt, the 15th on the all-time home run list. Big hug from Mike Trout as he gets back to that dugout. See the knuckleball. Not a lot of rotation, that seams. Stayed upstairs, above the belt, and Albert hooks it into the stands in left field. Home run number 28, which leads the American League in that category.
Next up, Manny Ramirez with 555. Two balls and no strikes on Eric Ibar. .58 RBIs now for Albert. Ibar hitting .285 with a couple of home runs and 28 runs batted in. Shoots one over to Sandoval. Nice play by the Red Sox third baseman. One out.
Well, there's already been some solid defensive plays on some hard-hit line drives. Both teams. He bats with a solid play in center. Sandoval with a nice play on that line drive by Eric Ibar. Well, Matt Joyce making a solid play. And Cole Calhoun the same. Not a good D early on.
Oh, 1 count on Joyce. Got in left field. Pinch hit in game one and struck out. He's hitting .188 with 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Big rip at it, comes up empty. Joyce goes down swinging. Round number 2. Daniel Robertson. Robertson picked up his first extra base hit as an Angel in game one. It was a double. Part of that 7-run second inning. He's picked up an RBI, his 4th. 1 for 4 game overall. Starting center fielder in game 2 with Trout serving as a DH.
Opportunity to somewhat rest Mike Trout after playing the whole 9 innings of game 1.
Popped up. Joya drifting out of the outfield grass. It's called off by Victorino. The Angels are done here in the second, but Albert Pujols had a prolonged at-bat. He delivers with his 28th of the season, 548th of his career.
So impressive, Albert. Great at-bat, big fly, giving the Halos the lead.
Hey folks, USA honors all our service members at home and abroad. Andrew Heaney back to work here in the third inning. There's Corey Rasmus. He is in the bullpen, eligible to pitch in Game 2. He is the 26th man. And that was something that was instituted a couple of years ago between Major League Baseball and the Players Association when you have doubleheaders to have an extra man available. Stephen Wright, the starter for Boston, is that guy for the Red Sox. Ibar has a nice play, spins around, throws it wildly away. So Napoli will reach. Eric looked like he may have had some time to kind of set his foot.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit more time than he anticipated.
Catcher number 23, Mike Swihart.
He's got to that ball way earlier than Napoli getting close to that base, and it forced Albert to get off the base to try to even catch that baseball.
Single for Napoli. That'll bring up Blake Swihart.
He need a good ground ball. Pitcher Swihart's grounded in the 6 double plays. Looking for that ground ball right back to Eric Ibar.
0-1 count on Swihart. Activated on for St. Louis prior to Game 1 in 241. 40 games so far this year with a home run, 11 runs batted in. Reaching for this one and shoots one down the right field line. That's going to be trouble. Foul. Almost trouble. Napoli had a pretty good read. Was almost at third base.
Yeah, where Cole's playing, there's no way he's going to be able to get close to that baseball. That's why Napoli going all the way.
Cole plays a deep right field.
Ideally now with 2 strikes on him, you'd like to see Cole maybe take a step or 2 come in. Swihart maybe in more protect mode.
Fouled off. Still an 0-2. Swihart disabled with a sprained left foot. Former first round pick. Late again on that fastball.
Like Hector, Andrew Heaney can pitch inside and go back-to-back fastballs inside. They're comfortable doing so. As most hitters, when you go fastball in, look away against you.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Swihart, and there is out number 1. For a strikeout for Heaney.
Center fielder number 50.
Our fans, the Angels host the Twins beginning tomorrow night at 7:05. And fans tomorrow night in attendance will receive, I should say, a Hawaiian Angels hat courtesy of Chevron Extra Mile while supplies last. Purchase tickets at the Angel Stadium box office, or you can do so online. Kicking off Hawaiian week tomorrow night.
And wait.
There's Mookie Betts. Napoli still at first. Napoli takes off. The hit and run is on. Nice play by Featherson. Straightens up, fires across the diamond, gets Betts by a step for out number 2.
That is an impressive arm for Featherson. Good range also. Ball was hit well by Betts again. What a play by Featherson at third base. Got that good prep step, hit on the line, hit well. Checks out where the runner is, and knowing he has that arm strength to throw out a very good runner going down the line, and Betts second out. Nice play by Featherson.
So Napoli in scoring position for Dustin Pedroia, who's 0 for 1. Just off the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Pat Hoberg calling the balls and strikes tonight. Bob Davidson at first, Hunter Wendell stood at second. Marcus Patillo, third base umpire. Strike. 3-0. Xander Bogaerts on deck.
Be careful. Don't just throw a fastball right down the heart of the plate because Pedroia is very aggressive. He'll be swinging 3-0 here. Great location, that fastball at 92, outside corner.
Albert Pujols giving the Angels a 1-0 lead with his 28th of the year, 548th of his career. He'll be trying to perform the old shutdown inning here in the third. Popped him up. Shallow right. Giavotella backpedals out a couple of steps. And there's the old shutdown inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Perez, Featherston, and Giavotella coming up. Angels leading at 1-0. Pujols leadoff home run of the second inning. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth, and just showed you Andrew Heaney right there. He's been fantastic for the Angels through his first couple of starts, and a little bit more aggressive Boston Red Sox team than perhaps maybe Andrew has faced to start the season with the Angels, but so far so good.
Yeah, Victor, I think Andrew has said it best. He's trying to be more aggressive in the strike zone, avoid big inning situations, get ahead of the count. And if they hit the ball, it doesn't matter because you have to force them to get hits to get on base instead of via base on balls, and that's why he's been so good so far.
Yeah, no stress with the infield base hit to Napoli, even with Napoli getting in scoring position. He was able to settle down and get the next three guys out. Perez with an 0-1 count. Make it 0-2 now. Didn't like that call. Carlos hitting 220, a couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in. And that, of course, got the starting nod behind the plate in game one. Ground ball to second. One away.
Third baseman, Taylor Featherston.
Taylor Featherston coming up now. Taylor got into the game this afternoon as a pinch runner, getting a two plate appearances and a single and a walk. Starting at third base tonight for David Freese.
Nice defensive play he made last inning. Ball was scolded by Betts.
Joyce has made a nice play. Betts has made a terrific play. Sandoval and Featherston over at third base made nice plays already.
Betts in the outfield. There's been a lot of solid defensive plays, especially when you think about the second game of a doubleheader.
A lot of time on your hands when you're a starting pitcher, not pitching in either game, huh?
Oh, yeah.
A long day.
Yeah, you're too much. That brain starts to drift a little bit too much in those games.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
At this point, you're creating some magnificent nicknames for your teammates and your opponents. Sitting in that dugout for that long a period of time as a starting pitcher.
Full count, just trying him out.
Yeah.
Kind of throwing stuff on the wall, see what sticks.
Exactly.
Top of the order, Giavatello on deck. Chop it toward third. Sandoval has it. 2 outs. Angel fans, it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WestDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Giavatello for 1 with a fly ball to center. Two balls, no strikes. Right at AAA this year, 2-5, 3.81 ERA in 8 starts. Originally with the Cleveland Indians, 2nd round pick into the University of Hawaii. He was back in 06, got traded in 2012 to Boston. First baseman outfielder Lars Anderson. Remember, he was a second coming, right? He was a great hitter, good patience, good power.
Could run a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was going to be very solid.
4-pitch walk, Giavatello, first free pass issued by Wright to bring up Cole.
You would think with a knuckleball pitcher, you're more apt to try to steal bases, although Wright's pretty quick on his move. He has 1 pickoff this year. He's only allowed 2 stolen bases in 4 attempts.
Cole lined one out towards center field. That was that nice play that Betts made going to his right. Pushes a bunt on the third base side. Right off the mound. Got rid of it quickly, and it's an infield base hit. But if they're going to give that to you, might as well take it, especially with Trout standing on deck.
Great point, Victor. Most times you think, okay, see if you can drive them in, but when you have Trout coming up next, why not put 2 base runners on for Mike Trout? And you can see there's no one around that area. Why not? Perfect bunt. Wright did all he could to get over there. He was covering a lot of ground. There's no way you're going to throw out Cole Calhoun. Now you have 2 on for Mike Trout.
Trout a strikeout victim in the first. 2 on, 2 outs.
Last at bat, he threw him a couple real slow knuckleballs and then a little harder one. But that speed at 74, he threw him a couple of 62 and 63 mile-an-hour knuckleballs first at bat.
He's had a chance to work with Charlie Huff. Of course, he's got Tim Wakefield at his disposal. Outside, gets away from Swihart. Runners will advance. Giavatello to third, Calhoun to second. Probably a wild pitch. Now they're calling it a pass ball.
This knuckleball, 75 mile an hour knuckleball. Off the glove, a tough one for a catcher. It's amazing when you watch the rotation in slow motion. The knuckleball, how little that rotation it seems. as compared to a fastball or a slider or curveball.
Thought about pulling the trigger, takes a strike. Did catch the bottom part of the strike zone according to Fox Tracks.
That's why I said about catching that knuckleball out in front. Because once it gets back to the catcher, it doesn't look like a strike, but it crossed the plate in the strike zone.
2-1. Upstairs. 3 balls and a strike. 4-pitch walk to Giavotella, and Cole Calhoun with his first bunt hit of the season. Pass ball putting runners at second and third. The Angels at game 1 were 5 for 7 with men in scoring position. They snapped an 0 for 35 at home with men in scoring position with that first game. There's ball 4, so they're loaded up for Albert. Second walk of the inning.
Quick visit by Swihart out to right. Refresh him exactly the sequence against Pujols. The first bat. A lot of pitches thrown to Albert before hitting that one out of the ballpark.
By the way, that was just the second bunt hit of his career for Cole Calhoun. Good guy to do it against, too, with a little knuckleball. You got time to kind of track the pitch. Here's Albert, homered in the second. Takes a strike. Albert saw 10 pitches in that second inning at bat. Even out of the glove of Swihart.
Well, that's not an easy play as a catcher.
No. There it is. And Reggie Jackson. Two balls, one strike.
It's really pushing the limit. Swihart's doing a nice job. That is a very difficult knuckleball to catch. He's generally, when you throw that knuckleball, you want to have your hand and like you're playing catch and shake a hand to the catcher. He's pulling across his body, which makes it even more difficult for a catcher to catch that knuckleball.
Three balls, one strike. Sixth 3-ball count already. Stephen Wright. Now the 3-1. And there's ball 4. It's 2-0 Angels. Albert with a bases loaded walk.
2 RBI in the game for Albert. 59 on the season. I was wondering if he was going to try a sneaky fastball by Albert. Looked like Albert was content, knowing if it's a knuckleball, he was going to take it, knowing he would get the same exact pitch, 3-2. He's geared up for a fastball, didn't get it, picked up an RBI walk.
Really, this whole thing started with a 2-out letdown. Got 2 quick outs on the ground ball from Carlos Perez and Taylor Featherston. And then a 4-pitch walk to Johnny Giavotella. Open things up. Bunt single by Cole, the walk to track. Now a bases loaded walk to Albert.
The 5 guys in the order this season against Wright. Coming in this game at 4-12, 7 for 17. And Eric hit a rocket right at Sandoval, who caught the line drive, his first at bat.
Hanley Ramirez almost playing on the line in left field, playing very shallow. Huge opening in left center. Eric will look at strike 1. Calhoun standing at third base, Trout at second, and Albert, trail runner at first. Eric with a base hit to center. Albert to second. 2 runs in. The ball is bobbled by Betts, and the Angels have themselves a 4-0 lead. And Ivar picks up 2 runs batted in.
Play single up the middle by Ibar. Taking advantage with some walks, 3 of them in this inning. This inning, as I mentioned, all set up by that walk, 4-pitch walk from Giavitello, a great bunt by Calhoun, and then a walk now, a base hit. And Betts trying to charge that baseball, unable to get a handle of it. Might have had to play at the plate, although it is Mike Trout running. It's worth the gamble.
There's Joyce. He gets hit by a pitch and they're loaded back up.
John Farrell had to get a lot of innings out of his bullpen in Game 1. Might be looking to try to do the same here in Game 2 of this doubleheader.
Robertson, the 9th man to bat here in the 3rd inning. Fly ball to right field in his first plate appearance. He will look at a fastball for a strike. 4-0 Halos here in the 3rd. It's foul back. 0-2.
6 times in the last 13 games for the Halos, they've sent at least 9 batters to the plate in an inning. Extremely impressive.
Ground ball towards short. Backhanded by Bogart. They go to 3rd. And safe at 3rd base is the call. As it stands right now, it's 5-0. Marcus Patilla, the 3rd base umpire, a little hesitant to make the call. John Farrell looking in. It's a force out at 3rd. Bogarts took a little time to get to that ball.
That's his only play. That was a smart play by him.
And no challenge from Farrell. So that'll go as an infield base. They're probably a fielder's choice, I should say. Then he is safe.
And that foot's on the base before the ball was in the glove. But that's the only play Bogarts could make.
Robertson gets credited with an RBI there. They are calling it a base hit.
I think you have to, because there's no way he's going to throw him out at first base.
Perez takes outside. He started off this inning with a ground ball to 2nd.
And all 3 walks now have scored in this inning.
Robertson now with 5 RBIs as an Angel. 2 balls, no strikes. This is a 2-out rally. 4 runs in. And a 5-0 Angels lead.
2 routine ground ball outs to start the inning. Okay, when you have that 2-out walk, for whatever reason, this can change an inning so quickly. This
Perez lifts one out toward left center. Long run for Mookie Betts. Racing back there onto the track, will make the catch. And that is the 3rd out. Carlos gave it a ride, but Betts tracks it down. The Angels strike for 4. The hit of the 4th. The Angels on top 5-0. Battle of the National League Central leading Cardinals in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
That's always fun when the A's and the Giants get together.
Five 5-0 Halos, top of the fourth inning. Nice little two-out rally. We're sending 10 men to the plate in the third. Andy with one strikeout, no walks, 2 hits allowed. Faces Bogarts, Ortiz, and Ramirez. The Red Sox half of the fourth. Bogarts 1-for-1 with a single in the first.
We'll try that slider down and in now.
Almost got him with that slider in the first at bat.
It looked like he got a changeup out over the plate for a base hit.
That time it looked like he went around, and he did. Bob Davidson rings him up. 1 down.
It's a good sequence once again. Mahiney and Perez. Fastball in, set up, the slider down and in. No question, cross the plate that time.
David Ortiz with a loud out in the first inning. Cole able to track it down in the alley in right center. What's strike one?
.39 pitches for Heaney, 29 strikes.
Good breaking ball 0-2.
And that's been a difference maker since he's been recalled from the minor leagues. From spring training to now, that balance and that good sharp slider, very effective for him.
Check swing foul. That fastball up and in. Amazing thing is, and we talked about it when Andrew got called up prior to that first start, wearing that Angels uniform. He was on that streak. His last 7 minor league starts. He gets by Perez, in which he had an ERA over 7. I mean, it was almost a 7.5. Struggling with command, giving up a lot of hits. We haven't seen any of that as of yet.
Yeah, he'd been into that conversation where he and Mike Butcher looking at video where he's successful in the past. Not throwing quite as far across his body. Staying over that pitching rubber a lot longer to maintain balance. These two have worked very well together, Butcher and Heaney.
Breaking ball low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Angels came into action today. The third best staff ERA in the American League at 3.56. That number went down with the 11-1 win in game 1. Upstairs, full count.
Overthrew that fastball. That one at 95. Let's try to paint the outside corner right here.
Payoff foul back. He's gearing up for that fastball, especially on the inside part of the plate. It's what he hit out to Cole in his first at bat, and he takes a cold strike. 3 for out number 2.
That is some serious paint on the outside corner. 93 fastball from Heaney.
Left fielder, number 13, Hanley Ramirez.
The target was set perfectly, and he frames it right on that outside corner. What a pitch!
It's almost like he was looking for that front door breaking ball to turn on.
Plus, he's thrown enough fastballs in to open up that outer part of the plate also. But glove side success been another reason why he's been very good at the major league level this season for the Angels, and Andrew Heaney.
Hanley lined one out to Joyce in his first at bat. 0 for 1.
Yeah.
2 balls, no strikes. Hanley lifts one out to right field, and it's playable for Cole. 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Andrew Heaney. We will head to the bottom of the 4th. 9-1-2 coming up for the Halos, leading at 5-0.
Ten punch-outs, just 1 walk in game 1 with 5 innings, 1 run allowed. Now 7-4 in the season with an ERA 2.30 for Hector Santiago, who's been outstanding this entire season. The all-star Hector Santiago.
Featherston, Giavatelli, and Calhoun here in the 4th for the Angels. And fouls this first one back. He's 0 for 1 with a ground ball to 3rd.
Jose was ready for that pop-up, had the glove ready.
Chopper slowly hit towards Sandoval. 1 down. Fans, the Angels will host the Twins on Wednesday. That's a 7:05 start. Fans attendance will receive a Hawaiian rally money courtesy of Longevity while supplies last. Get your tickets here at the box office or online.
You had a great view of that home run by David Freese earlier today in game 1. Oh, those sunglasses are fantastic. It's a great look.
You say so.
No comment.
Need the hula dancing rally monkey for the dashboard. What are they waiting for? What's wrong with them?
That would be great.
Popped up on the infield. Pedroia calling for it. 2 down.
Right fielder, number 56, Cole Calhoun.
Cole 1 for 2 with a bunt base hit last inning. First of the year, second of his career. First one was back in 2013. Sandoval stays at home this time at third base. A lot of the knuckleballs that righties throw at tonight almost get a little cut action away from righties into lefties.
But the ideal knuckleball going straight down a lot.
Back.
Like that one there.
Two balls and a strike. Cole fouls it off. 2-2. The crowd once again. All 4 games of this series. Give us a number of 42,000 for game 1. A lot of those were, of course, for tickets bought for yesterday's game. But we did have a pretty good crowd here for a 2 o'clock start.
The fans here really sensing this team is starting to play the type of baseball they anticipated coming into the season. The offense coming around. The pitching's been great. We've talked about that all season long for the most part.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Cole. And a 1-2-3 inning for Steven Wright. 4 complete here at Angel Stadium. 5-0 Angels. By the Dodge Charger with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse. More live channels on the go than cable.
And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Andrew Heaney back to work here at the top of the 5th inning after a 1-2-3 fourth. He'll face Sandoval, Victorino, Napoli. He's thrown just 50 pitches through the first 4.
35 of them strikes.
Pablo Sandoval grounded out to Pujols in the second.
Been very good as far as getting ahead of counts.
Shot foul. It's 0-2.
Faced 15 batters so far in this game. 11 first pitch strikes.
Almost got on the chase. 1-2. Swing and a miss, got him on the hard breaking ball. Perez completes the strikeout by throwing down the Pujols. 1 down. Strikeout number 4 for Andrew. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Victorino lined out to Ibar. Second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Just missed in. Not by much, though. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouled off. Perez give it a look. Looks like it's going to go into the seats eventually. At the top of the dugout suites. Count evened up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boston will leave tonight and go to Houston. Take on the Astros this week. 2-2 line to center. Robertson moves over. 2 down. He'll stay here. Take on the Twins for 3.
The outfielders have been positioned perfectly so far in this game. The baseball's hitting well. Dino Abel's done a nice job as far as putting these guys in position in the outfield to make good plays. In command with his breaking ball to throw for a strike. Fastball.
Two balls and a strike on Napoli. A single in the 3rd inning. Infield variety. Three balls, 1 strike. That is ripped to left. Base hit. Joyce over to try to cut it off and does so. Napoli is going to try to go to second. The throw from Joyce almost in time. Nice try by Matt Joyce to get that baseball back in there. Napoli with a 2-out double.
And with 2 outs, worth the gamble for Napoli.
Catcher number 23, Blake.
Took that one down. Cut off by Joyce. And the long throw. Just waiting for that baseball to come down for Giavitella and then try to quickly tag Napoli, but got the foot on the base for a double for Napoli, his 12th.
Lifted in the air to right. Cole back a couple of steps. Swihart with a fly ball to right to end the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Trout, Pujols, and Ibar coming up for the Angels, leading at 5-0. Phillies line. Really, the only hiccup is the 2-out, 4-pitch walk to Giavatelli that kind of started that rally for the Angels. He's given up 5 runs. And at that point, when that rally started, it was a 1-0 deficit for Boston on the home run by Albert. Very manageable. But the Angels took advantage of it, saw the crack in the door there, and pushed the door open and scored 4 more times. Trout with a strikeout and a walk.
And that's what the offense has done of late. Anytime they get that opportunity to add on, they do.
One ball, 2 strikes. Foul back.
See the frustration each and every swing that Mike Trout has had in this game. This hasn't really timed that swing against that knuckleball. It's a very difficult pitch to hit.
He skies one out to left field. Hanley drifting back at the wall. Gone! Big fly for Mike Trout. 28th of the year, and it's 6-0 Angels.
And never fear, Mike Trout figured it out as usual. The adjustment at the plate and got that pitch out in front. That was a 60-mile-an-hour knuckleball for Mike Trout. Unbelievable. Once again, tying Albert Pujols for the lead in the American League as far as home runs. See that knuckleball. Got it out in front. And he crushes it. Once again, Pujols and Trout homer in the same game.
2 balls and no strikes. Albert with a home run and a bases loaded walk. He has 2 runs batted in tonight. 59 RBIs on the year.
It's 5 home runs the Angels have hit in these 2 games.
Cardinals now with 105 home runs on the season. Look at that roll toward the hole, backhanded by Bogarts. 1 out.
And now it's time for that top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Let's go back and take a look at that swing from Trout on the knuckleball. The 60-mile-an-hour knuckleball, exactly where he got out in front. The plate, Mike Trout, power, the adjustment he made in the swing, even though he looked uncomfortable in 3 at-bats as far as hitting that knuckleball, made the adjustment, and he crushes that one out. His 28th home run of the season for Trout.
Looking for that $1 million payday. Rattle that can.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, and Sherwin-Williams would give the Angels Baseball Foundation $1 million. His Ibar lifts one out toward right center field. That will red hop the fence. Eric on his way to second with his 2nd hit of the ball game and his 17th double of the season.
Left fielder, number 20.
He's swinging the bat well. And another knuckleball. A little more rotation in the seam. That one stayed true, straight down the middle of the plate at 70 miles an hour, and that's a good swing. Stayed back on it well for Eric Ibar for a double. His 17th double of the season.
Joyce, a strikeout victim in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 3rd. And there's that late action in on a left-handed batter that we've seen.
The one thing when you look for in a knuckleball, you want to have very little rotation in the seams, and that one, especially to Ibar, more rotation than normal, and that stayed true and straight down the middle.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Questions always asked, why isn't there more knuckleball pitchers in the major leagues? It's a difficult pitch to control.
Three and 1. And it's usually one of those pitches really that becomes a last resort for guys. Kind of what happened.
Tim Wakefield.
Yeah, Tim Wakefield, R.A. Dickey.
Tom Candiotti, the same thing. He was a power arm in the Royals organization.
This one lifted in the air. Sandoval giving chase into foul territory and will make the play. Nice play by Sandoval to stick with it. 2 outs.
This play by Sandoval to be able to keep an eye on the baseball. As you know, when you're getting your seats and fans right there. The concentration, never took his eye off the baseball. A nice play.
Mr. and Mrs. Bartman there. Robertson takes upstairs. 1 for 2. Fly ball to right and an RBI single. Now it gets away from Swihart. Ibar advances to third.
Always fun to watch Pujols and Trout battle for that home run lead in the American League. Both now with 28.
Six nothing Angels. Trout with a homer here to lead off the 5th. Robertson rips one foul. Out in front. Tomahawk that ball.
Like Giavitelli, he likes the high fastball, high pitches.
Two balls and 2 strikes. This is towards second. One hopper to Pedroia. Handles a legal man at third, but Mike Trout extends the Angels' lead to 6-0 as he picks up his 28th home run of the season.
Nice job of getting that knuckleball out in front to hit it out for Mike Trout. RBIs again for the Halos. Albert Pujols tying Mike Schmidt, 15th all-time list as far as home run. And then Mike Trout, his 28th, both now with 28 home runs on the season. Andrew Heaney has been dealing once again. Great command of his fastball. His slider has been razor blade sharp. And command in the strikes will get ahead of the count. 5 shutout innings so far for Andrew Heaney.
Here in the 6th inning, he'll face the top of the order in Betts, Pedroia, and Bogaerts. Rookie Betts 0 for 2 with a pop up to second and a ground ball to third. The ground ball to third was that nice backhanded play by Featherston and a hit and run. Two balls, no strikes. Betts fouls it up. Back. 2-1. Lane getting ready. Looks like Wright is done after 5 innings tonight. A 3-1 count. Payoff on the way. Swing and a foul back into Perez.
And so should Rick Smith are going to check Carlos Perez. See where this baseball gets him. A hand exposed and gets him right on the hand, the throwing hand. And here, good angle to see that right off the hand, off that pinky area.
So a lot of times catchers keep that right hand behind that right ankle area with nobody on base. With runners on, you kind of have to be alert for potential steal. 3-2 again. Betts fouls it off. .72 pitches for Andrew Heaney, 48 of it strikes, 4 punch outs, no walks. He scattered 3 hits. Popped him up. Matt Joyce comes in. 1 out.
What a perfect pitch, right on the outside corner. 89-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball.
Second baseman, number 15, Dustin Pedroia.
3-2 count, you're going to challenge. An arm side command of the fastball. Right on the outside corner. Betts pops it up.
Rookie 0 for 16 in this series. Does not reach base. Pedroia looks at a strike.
He's had some pretty good swings. The defense has been solid against him.
But it certainly changes the offense around a little bit when the table setter's not getting on base. Putting a little stress on Angels pitching.
Just looking at the numbers for the starters so far in this series for CJ, Richards, Hector Santiago, very solid. Just 1 earned run allowed.
Pedroia drives one out toward right center field. Robertson got a good jump on it. Tracks it down for the second out.
Shortstop, number 2, Xander Bogaerts.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact, even though the first couple of games, close games for the most part, real tight. The first game, walk-off home run by Trout. Because the pitcher's feeling that the offense is coming around where they don't have to be perfect on every pitch. They can challenge hitters. We've seen a lot of pitches in this 4-game series, a lot of pitches inside challenging very good hitters with a lot of confidence because they know the offense is going to be there to back them up.
Reaching for that one, and it fouls it off. 0-2 count on Xander Bogaerts, a shortstop, is 1 for 2.
It's an unhittable spot, Victor. I mean, that's a perfect fastball. 90-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees, outside corner. And if we'll go down and in on that slider again.
One-two count. Evens up the count. I don't know about you, Gooby. I know we don't get paid to make these decisions, but for me, Andrew Heaney's not leaving the rotation.
No. Tough decisions to make.
This one's an easy one.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, but not about him.
Not sure when Jared will make his return officially, but he's on the way back.
A simulated game tomorrow. And sometime maybe this weekend for Weaver getting back in the rotation.
Two sharply hit towards second. Backhanded by Giavotella. Gets off balance. And the throw pulls Pujols off the bag. Infield base hit for Bogaerts, his second hit of the game.
Giavotella showing some pretty good range with the off-balance throw. And Albert trying to get off the base, ends up using the bare hand to knock it down.
David Ortiz 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a strikeout. A couple of the other scores around baseball. Tigers 5-4 winners over the Mariners. Houston idle, Oakland idle. Texas trailing Colorado 7-6. Rangers have chipped away. That game's in Denver. It's the bottom of the 8th. Here it's 6-0 Angels. We play in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. This one's fouled back. Deep right field. Calhoun reaching back for the wall. That one is gone. A 2-run blast for David Ortiz. And the Red Sox get on the board. It's 6-2 Angels. Ortiz with his 16th of the season.
That was certainly a high home run fastball. 92 inner half, but elevated. This is his second home run against left-handed pitching. Well, he already opened up that front hip. He was guessing inner half of the plate. Ortiz has hit quite a few of them. He knows when he hits a home run.
First extra base hit of the 4-game series. Looks to the strike. The 2-out infield single, keeping the inning alive. Ortiz hit the home run. Hanley 0 for 2 with a fly ball to left and a fly ball to right. This one lifted out to shallow right center field. Long run for Robertson. He calls off Cole, and he'll make the catch for the third out. So the Red Sox get on the board. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Angels up by 4.
Contenders, a slugfest, but the Pirates win that one in Kansas City 10-7. No Kershaw, no Greinke, so the offense for the Dodgers got to provide some runs. They did. They scored 5, but they gave up 7 to Atlanta as the Atlanta Braves win that one 7-5. Look at Zach Greinke, what he has done. Once he over 43 innings of shutout baseball, consecutive shutout baseball for Zach Greinke.
Here at the bottom of the 6th inning, the Angels leading at 6-2. It's left-hander Tommy Lane on the relief. The 30-year-old pitching in his 35th game, 0-1 record, a 3.33 ERA, facing 8-9-1 Perez, Featherston, and Giavitello. Stephen Wright, the starter tonight, lasting 5 innings, giving him 6 runs all earned. Carlos, by the way, almost added to that 4-run 3rd inning. The bases loaded, drove one to the wall in left center field, and it was tracked down by Mookie Betts. Single back up the middle, lead off the 6th inning.
And Betts has made a couple really good plays in this game. Started off the game against made some plays, diving on Cole Calhoun, and then tracked that one down against Carlos Perez.
Featherston 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls to Sandoval at third base. Bunts with foul. Stephen Wright, by the way, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 of which were home runs. Pujols and Trout. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 hit batter into 6 runs. First professional game here at Angel Stadium. A former Valley View High School product. Wright had that knuckleball working against the Angels at Fenway Park in May. Tonight, not as much, not as sharp as far as the command. Edison drops a bunt in front of the plate. Swihart's only plays to first. Sacrifice advances Perez to second.
Well done by Featherston. Add on here. A 2-run home run by Ortiz closes the gap. Play catch with that bat. Nice job of getting away from the baseball and getting down the line. Advance it, Carlos Perez into scoring position, and some high fives in that dugout.
Giamatello for 2. A couple of fly ball outs. Also a walk with a run scored. Perez with a big lead at second. Swihart, Lane are going to talk things over.
The Hyundai key for this game to be successful. Would go crazy. Certainly the offense in the 3rd inning. Batted around, scoring 4 runs. Looking to add on here once again. Some solid defense. And some great pitching once again by the Halos.
Lane in his 2nd season with Boston. 30 games last year. It was 35th this year. Diamondbacks 26th round pick in 07. They got to the biggest with the Padres 2012, which parts of 2 seasons there in San Diego. Before signing as a free agent with Boston.
And the fastball's going to be around 87 to 92 range. Slider, cutter, and change up.
Foul at the plate. That may have gotten Swihart's hand as well. 2 balls and a strike. Boston in game 1 with Rodriguez getting knocked down in the 2nd. Had to use Noe Ramirez for 2 1/3, Robbie Ross Jr. for 3, and then Breslow for 1. 26th man for this 2nd game was Stephen Wright. So Lane here in the 6th, but piece it together the rest of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
I think that's been a solid goal put in by baseball to add that extra play for double headers.
Calhoun on deck. Reaching for this one, flares one out to shallow right. Victorino playing shallow, goes into the slide, makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, Victorino can cover a lot of ground out there in right field, especially getting in on the baseball. Remember earlier in this series, he caught a pop up that almost in the infield dirt coming in against Pujols. A good range by Victorino, tracking that one down. That looked like for sure that was going to fall in. Sliding play by Victorino.
Old school flying Hawaiian. Carl Willis out to pay a visit here, which is interesting. 2 out to the man in 2nd.
Let's go ahead and pitch around Cole Calhoun so you can face Mike Trout, right?
Alexi Ogando getting ready. Cole's hit lefties to a .266 average this year. 273 against righties. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Seriously, I mean, what's the option here? You have first base open.
I think I'll pass on that one.
Right. Regardless of who's coming in for the bullpen. Three infielders on the right side. Sandoval stays near the bank, relatively speaking, as far as the overshift is concerned. Remember, a single in the 3rd was a bunt base hit for Cole. Takes down and in.
I wonder if they're going to try to stay inside with a fastball. Maybe it's more of a conversation on what pitch sequence you're going to try against Cole Calhoun.
Tied him up right there. Another one.
2 in a row inside.
Lays off. Missed it.
Every pitch inside so far. That was the conversation. But the more pitches you throw inside, the more apt, when you're not used to doing that against left-handed batters, you're going to make a mistake.
All three outfielders playing shallow for Boston. Ramirez, Betts, and Victorino from left to right. 2-1 pitch. Cole pulls this one. Trying to get that outside pitch. Rolls it to Pedroia, and the inning is over. 6 complete here at the Big A. Angels maintaining a 6-2 lead. Needs of a military community for over 90 years. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th inning, the Angels with a 6-2 lead. Andrew Heaney back to work. He'll face Sandoval, Victorino, Napoli, 6, 7, and 8 for Boston. Heaney with 4 strikeouts, 5 hits allowed. Boston getting on the board with the infield base hit by Bogarts and 2 outs in the 6th inning. And Ortiz follow with a 2-run blast.
I believe Sandoval might be aggressive on this first pitch. Taken the first pitch a couple times in this game against Heaney, but not that particular time with a fastball up.
Popped up. Playable for Featherston, it looks like. In the foul territory. 1 down. Sandoval 0 for 3 in this one. Brings up Shane Victorino. Trevor Gott getting ready. Drives one out to left center field. Joyce is there. He'll put it away. 2 outs. Fans on Friday, make your plans to visit the Gate 1 Music Garden for a pregame luau featuring live Hawaiian music, dancing, and food. Purchase your tickets today at the stadium box office or online. They'll be playing the ukulele. Tiny Bubbles, perhaps? Tiny Bubbles.
Yeah.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
They're ready.
Yes.
They're going to be there Friday.
No question.
Napoli takes inside. Napoli, little dribble left side. Featherston cuts in front of Ibar. And a 1-2-3-7 for Andrew Heaney. Stretch time here at the Big A. Trout Pools and Ibar coming up, leading at 6-2. Of the 7th. Trout, Pujols, and Ibar coming up for the Angels. It's Alexio Gondo taking over for left-hander Tommy Lane. So in and out. Who's in, who's out?
Always a good power fastball. Gondo fastball 92-96 range. 33 strikeouts so far and 40 in the third innings pitch. Slider, changeup.
One ball, one strike. Trout 1 for 2 with a strikeout, a walk, and a home run. Home run coming into 5th inning. Two balls, one strike.
Still good life in that fastball. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Trout 4 for 11 in his career against Agana with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Lexi pitching his 37th game this year. 2-2, foul back.
Trout farm. Having fun here at the ballpark. Trout and Pujols leading Major League Baseball in home runs.
Trout the DH in game 2. Albert the DH in game 1. Two again. Now back again. Breaking ball low. Full count. Tough pitch to lay off. You're gearing up at mid-90s, upper 90s fastball.
I think it was at 91 also with late cut to it.
Man. Here's the payoff. And he struck him out looking. Off-speed pitch, got him. One down.
Albert coming to play game 1 of this doubleheader, day-night doubleheader. Albert Pujols homers. The 390 sign, second inning tonight. Homers again, first time in Albert's career. He's homered in both games of a doubleheader.
Last Angel to do was Garrett Anderson, July 16th of 95 against the Tigers.
That's amazing, though, when you think about how many home runs Albert has hit. And he probably had a share of doubleheaders over the years playing in St. Louis with the rain.
There's never a rain delay in St. Louis.
No.
Or rain out.
No.
Ever.
See, it took the rain here last night. This historic rain out.
It was historic.
Yes.
More coverage on that in the postgame show, I'm sure. .548 home runs in his career. Downstairs. Albert just 1 for 7 in his career against Sagano, but he's made it count. Home run. 2 RBIs. And that is driven out to left. Ramirez going back. How about a multi-homer game? He just passed Mike Schmidt. Stands alone. 15th all time. 7-2 Angels.
She did an amazing round of applause. All the Angel fans here tonight. That is awesome. Taking over the Major League lead as far as home runs. Passing Mike Schmidt. I watched a lot of those home runs in my childhood from Mike Schmidt, but Albert Pujols passes him by with 2 home runs tonight and 1 earlier today.
Ivar hits one over to second. 2 down.
Like a slider, kind of spin out over the plate. Albert did not miss it, nor does he miss many mistakes. That pitch out in front and another home run. 3 today. 2 in game 2, 1 in game 1.
It's a third multi-homer game of the season for Albert. That's where he stands all time, 549. And Ramirez up next. Joyce cuts through the fastball. It's an 0-1 count.
Well, all of a sudden, you mentioned earlier today, month of July, a little bit of a struggle for Albert, but this entire day, both games, he has crushed the baseball. Even the outs he's made, he squared them up.
don't think the home run derby affected his swing much.
No.
Joyce hits one back to Ogano, makes the catch on. Nice play by the Red Sox pitcher, and the Angels are done here. The seventh, they add a run. Albert's second home run of the ball game. 29th of the season. We head to the eighth. It's a 7-2 Angels lead.
Patrick O'Neill here with you. Stick around after this game for our Angels Live post-game show. And yes, as historically significant as that rainout was yesterday, perhaps we'll spend a lot of time with Tim Salmon and Jose Mota talking about this great victory, hopefully, and one Albert Pujols. Move over, Mike Schmidt, number 549 for Pujols. You heard Mark Gubiza talking about all those double headers. And the first time that Albert has gone home runs at both of those games, 13 games. I looked it up. 13 times he's played both ends of a doubleheader. First time with the 2 home runs. Last Angel, you heard Victor mention, was GA Fred Lynn. Victor and Mark, the last Angel here at the Big A in 1983. As good as Mike Trout has been, Victor and Mark, you have to think through 57 games, Albert Pujols deserves some MVP votes for this team.
There's no doubt. Yeah. Absolutely. It's way too early to be talking about that stuff, but as far as the season is concerned in the American League, but the catalyst has been Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. We've talked about that all season long, waiting for the rest of the guys to kind of catch up on the offensive side. They're starting to do that as well.
It's kind of fun to remember. Well, we weren't around at that point, but the M&M boys, Mantle and Maris, battling out.
Trevor Gott takes over on the mound here for Andrew Heaney, his 14th game.
Right now, Pujols and Trout battling out as far as the home run lead in Major League Baseball. Albert now with the lead with 29. Trout with 28.
Swihart, the catcher, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to right. 1-1. Andrew Heaney, 7 innings tonight, 2 runs on 5 hits, one of which was the home run to Ortiz. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Andrew looking for his 4th win. 2 balls, 1 strike. Trevor pitching his 14th game in the big leagues this year. 1-0 and a 2.77 ERA. 13 innings, 12 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's the top part of the strike zone. 3-1. That was apparently low, so it's a lead-off walk to strike the 8th.
The starting pitching for the Angels in this 4-game set against the Red Sox. 3 earned runs allowed. Dominating performance. Andrew Heaney, no walks. Now just 4 walks the entire season. 34 in the third innings pitch for Andrew Heaney. What a job he has done as far as adjusting those mechanics. Consistently hitting his spots.
Fastball high, and now Perez will go out and talk things over. Last game for Trevor, July the 12th. The way the starting pitching has been in the series for the Angels. The relievers haven't had a chance to work much. Joe Smith pitched 1 inning Friday night. No reliever Saturday. Moore in 2 innings. Ramos 2 innings in game 1. And now down is falling behind here, 2-0.
He's throwing some pretty good pitches, not getting the calls right in the corners.
Three 3-0 now.
Quick visit now for Mike Butcher. Trevor Gott trying to get him under control. Started off fantastic in his career with the Angels. Now a little bit of a rough spot. See how he makes the adjustments. He has that power fastball.
Joe Smith, it looks like, is going to now have to loosen. Got Pedroia on deck, then Bogarts after him. The last thing you want to do is open the door for Boston. Now it misses, so back-to-back walks to start the 8th.
Second baseman, number 15, Dustin Pedroia.
Came into the game with just 1 walk. In his first 13 games with the Angels, he's walked the first 2 to start the 8th. Little rust, perhaps.
Yeah, no doubt. Overthrown because you feel that good all that time off. You could simulate throwing bullpens and playing catch, but it's different when you're in game action.
There's a strike. Pedroia 0 for 3. Ground ball to short, a pop up to second, a fly ball to center. Oh, 2. Chopper back to the mound. Gott fires to second for 1. That's the only play they'll get. I think Trevor thought about third base initially.
Because that's a tough throw, especially with the movement he has on everything he throws. He throws going right into the runner and bats, who gets down second base quickly. And he thought about throwing to third initially, and then that hesitation and that running fastball he throws at Eric Ibar, very difficult to be able to get a double play turn then. But you still have you've still kept that double play in order now, though.
Tanner Bogarts with a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3. Lays off the high fastball. 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 left on for the Red Sox. 7 runs, 8 hits, 5 left on for the Angels. One ball, 1 strike. Swihart at third base, Pedroia at first. David Ortiz on deck. So Joe Smith ready to go if necessary. Lifted in the air to right. Playable for Cole. Swihart will tag. He will come home. It's a sac fly. It's a 7-3 Angels lead. There are 2 outs. Bogarts with his 44th run batted in.
That ball well to right field, but at this point in the game, you're looking for outs. It's a big out. Got in the Angels.
One ball, no strikes. One-0. Evens up the count. Ortiz didn't like that call. Home run he hit in the 6th inning, his 16th of the year. 2-run shot. 45 runs batted in.
That's a good slider.
1-2. One-two. Breaking ball, line to center, a base hit. Pedroia will turn and head to third. So the Red Sox have runners at the corners now. And here comes Hanley Ramirez. Mike Scioscia making his way out.
Ortiz starting to get hot. It's good to get him out of town and let him get down and do some damage in Houston.
So a pitching change here in the 8th inning, 1 run in. Joe Smith will be called upon to get Hanley to finish off this 8th inning. The Angels on top 7-3.
that Joe Smith now in the game for the Angels, taking over for Trevor Gott. 4-2 mark, 40th game, ERA 2.65. Joe Smith, 37 in the third innings pitched, 33 punch-outs.
Mentioned he pitched Friday night, went 1 inning through a total of 10 pitches. Hook him on with runners at first and third base. Facing Hanley Ramirez, who's 0 for 3 with 3 fly ball outs. Hanley struck out looking against Smith to start off that 9th inning Friday night. First pitch low. Slider away. 2 balls, no strikes. This inning started with back-to-back walks by Gott, the 9th place hitter and the leadoff man, Swihart and Betts, respectively. Swihart eventually scoring on the sac fly by Bogaerts. Ground ball foul. It's a 2-1 count.
With a little bit of a quick pitch by Joe Smith to throw up the timing of Ramirez at the plate on a good fastball count, 2-0.
Two-on pitch. Chopper, first base shot. Pujols has it. They'll go to second and force out David Ortiz to finish off the top of the 8th inning. Over to the bottom of the inning, Angels leading at 7-3. A strong fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast that is brought to you by T-Mobile. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Halos with a 7-3 lead. They will have the bottom third of their order coming up to face Craig Breslow, pitched 1 inning for 22 pitches in game 1. This is his 28th overall game. No record of 3.86 ERA. And in game 1, without a hit, struck out a man and walked a man, but no runs allowed.
Fastball is 87-91. Slider curve change. 23 punch outs this season.
Robertson, Perez, and Featherston. The Angels here in the 8th inning. Daniel Robertson, the starting center fielder tonight in Game 2, with Trout serving as DH. A 1-for-3 game, an RBI single in the 3rd.
Outside.
It's this one on the line. Victorino playing shallow, racing over, calls everybody off, makes the basket catch. 1 out. Nice play by Victorino.
He's made a lot of plays in this series. Covering a lot of ground also. Almost like being an infielder. A couple of those pop-ups getting that far in from right field.
Perez, a 1-for-3 game with a single. His last plate appearance, that was in the 6th inning. Alexio Gondo, with 1 inning, gave up the home run to Albert. Off speed low. Two balls, 2 strikes. No action in the Angels bench. It looks like Joe Smith will stay in for the 9th inning. Sandoval, Victorino, Napoli, the scheduled 3 batters for Boston. Featherston on deck. From sky to shallow center. Mookie Betts with the call and the catch. 2 outs. Couple of ground balls to third, and a sacrifice bunt for Taylor Featherston. The Freeze getting the 2nd game off. Speed pitch, and it's an 0-2 count. Andrew Heaney, terrific 7 innings tonight. 2 runs on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks for his 4th win. This being his 5th start this year with the Angels. Called strike 3. Featherston goes down looking, and we will head to the 9th. Angels looking for the sweep of the Red Sox, leading at 7-3. to back out to try to close this one out. Hanley Ramirez hit in the fielder's choice that ended the 8th inning. Here in the 9th, it'll be Sandoval, Victorino, and Napoli to face Joe.
That big out to finish off that 8th inning, a ground ball from Hanley Ramirez.
Sandoval 0 for 3. Ground ball to first, a strikeout, a pop-up. We'll look at ball 1. 6 hits for Boston, 8 for the Angels. That is with the 3 home runs in this one. 2 by Albert, 1 by Trout.
So 6 on the day.
1-1. Just looking for win number 52 on the season. Houston Idol, chance to pick up a full game of the standings. Slider in there.
A good backdoor slider. Kind of freezes a hitter. And that pitch is out of the strike zone, but it wraps around and gets the outside corner.
Reaching for that one, fouls it off. Popped up. Right side, Johnny Giavitelli calling for it. Albert may call him off. And he does. 1 out. Oh, man. That's great.
Albert taking charge.
Yeah.
And a quick smile.
Shake in his head. Now between Ibar to his right and Pujols to his left. Got no shot.
It's got to be a jam shot pop up right at him. He says, I didn't hear you calling for it.
That's beautiful. Alejandro De Aza pinch hitting here for Victorino. De Aza got into game 1 and grounded out. It was an 8th inning at bat. No balls, 2 strikes. Check swing. They wanted an appeal. Did not go. Foul back. Brock Holtz come out to the on-deck circle. He'll be batting for Mike Napoli. Seattle lost. Texas lost. Houston and Oakland idle tonight.
Boy, Texas would fall back if this lead holds for the Angels with 9 games back.
2 outs.
This little 2-seam fastball, run in action. See how far that pitch started, middle part of the plate, but then ran off the outside corner. First swing and miss for Joe Smith, who's aligned to potentially pick up his first save of the season.
Napoli finishes the game going 2 for 3. Holt takes ball 1. .287 batting average for Brock Holt, lone Red Sox All-Star. We'll take low. 2 balls, no strikes. Halos took game one by the final of 11-1. Strike. The win tonight would make it 5 consecutive wins for the Angels. Ground ball to short. This should do it. Ibar has it. Light that baby up as Brock Holt is gunned down. And the Angels take the final game of this 4-game series by the final of 7-3.
What an awesome display by Albert Pujols. Andrew Heaney picking up his 4th W, going another 7 very good innings. 3 home runs hit in game 2, 3 home runs hit in game 1. But Albert Pujols, 2 home runs, passing Mike Schmidt on the all-time list. Homers in both games of the doubleheader for the first time in his career. An outstanding job by Pujols. Now the Angels are 11-1 in the last 12 games in which Albert Pujols has homered. Mike Trout home run 2, 24th time those two have homered in the same game in their careers. Here's the Angels.
It's the third 4-game sweep of the Red Sox in franchise history, and the first time the Angels have done it here at home. Remember, they had that 4-game sweep the last time at Fenway Park last year. And they are on a roll here to start the second half. Now a 2-game lead over the Houston Astros.
But only 3 earned runs allowed as a starting staff against this Red Sox club in a 4-game series. And remember, they were swinging the bats very well at the end of the first half.
Albert Pujols with his 3rd multi-homer game of the season. He is down on the field with Alex Curry. Alex.
Thank you, Victor. Albert, the offense exploded today with 18 runs. How great is it to see this team come together and complete this sweep on a doubleheader?
Well, definitely it was great, to come and play 18 innings and come out with both of the wins. It's pretty special,
And the pitching staff has been on point this entire series, only giving up 3 runs. Andrew Heaney now 4-0 since being called up with you guys. How great is it to play behind a guy like that?
You know what? That's how you win. Sometimes you're going to score some wrong, and our pitching is going to do our job, and everything is going to click. There's all the time that there's all the time that our offense is not going to click, but that's why we're in first place. Our pitching's obviously been outstanding all year, and I'm just glad that our offense will be able to wake up.
And the milestones keep coming for you today, passing Mike Schmidt on the all-time home run list. How great is that to be able to share it and do it in front of the hometown crowd?
First of all, I need to give all the glory and all the credit to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who keeping me healthy this year to be able to accomplish what I have accomplished in my career. And you just said it, to do it in front of our fans, it's pretty special. So hopefully I can continue to do it. So thank you for your support, guys. And our main goal is to win.
Well, congratulations. You definitely did that today twice. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
The Angels complete the sweep against Boston in the doubleheader. A great performance by Albert Pujols today. Angels Live with Patrick O'Neill, Jose Mota, and Tim Salmon is coming up next.